Now, the funny thing looking back is when I started gigging at about 20 years old, the first couple of gigs that I did, and I do have a picture of it, but it's such a bad quality photo from nigh on 30 years ago that I'm not even going to try and post it. But I've got a photo of one of my first gigs where it was the Premier XPK kit, but I think I was using it was either 210s or it was 8, 10, 12, 13. Was it 8? I think it was 8, 10, 12, 13, 16, 18 toms. So I had the whole, like, you know. And I obviously, you're 20 years old, you're young, you're stupid, and you've got plenty of energy, and you've got plenty of time to settle this rubbish up, and because I had it on the big rack thing as well, so I had the big rack posts, the big those of you that are around my age or older will remember the big house racks in the 80s, and that's basically what I was running with at that point. Wholly impractical, and obviously the older you get, there's a reason why the way all these companies now do lightweight hardware. It's for old people like me. I might not be that old, but certainly I feel old anyway. So it's just all lightweight is in, and lightweight is where it's at for me going forward. The fun thing is having lots of choices is kind of how. Well, actually, how all this started in the first place is just I like to have choices. Now, when I bought the it's not in here anymore; it's in there. When I bought the Star Classic Bubinga kit, which may have been the last brand new kit I bought actually a couple of years ago. I was looking at it, and I was going to get like a 12, 16, 22. Set, but then I found somewhere else that was basically for about 100 I think it was for like about £120 more. Someone else was doing 10, 12, 16, and it's like, well, I could go for the 12 and 16 version, but for the extra bit of money and for the extra options that it gives me, I might as well just spend the extra money, and I'm like well away. So now on that Bubinga kit, I've got the 10, 12, 16, or I've got the 12 and 16, or I've got the 10 and 16, and so the more drums you've got, the more kit options you have. Generally, I only ever go out with a 4-piece kit, and I know obviously there will be people out there who, particularly if you play a vintage kit, from sort of like the 50s or the 60s, it's like my Slingerland kit. That's basically, it's one up and one down, and that's what you got. And that suits people fine, and so it should as well. It's what you're comfortable with. But I've always liked the thought of having, I can have a big kit, I can have an intermediate size kit, or I can have just a nice one up, one down size kit. And so if you ever really thought about why do I have all these toms with these kits and I never seem to use them, that's really the reason why. It's just I like to have options. And when I've bought second-hand kits, I've never ever been tempted to sort of, well, 12 and 16 are my sizes, so I don't need this 10 and I don't need this 13, so I'm going to sell those. I mean, it works for some people, but it's never worked for me, because I know if I kept using that kit over and over and over, I'd kind of get bored with it. So having the ability to throw another tom up or change one out and go for something a little bit different, that works for me very well, and it keeps me happy. It keeps things interesting. I will never be like Simon Phillips, who's basically, I think, played the same kit for 40 odd years. Yeah, it's not for me. I know his kit has changed slightly over the years. He's added a few drums and whatever, but he pretty much does. His kit's evolved for him, but historically it's always been a big kit. The reason why I have so many toms is really because I just like to buy kits and have the option and choices there, and it is a lot of fun. Like actually, you know, on the Grand Star and the Art Star 2 kit. This is the 12, sorry, the 13 from the Art Star. There, it is kind of fun to go out like I did with New Year's Eve. I went out with a 10, 11, 16 setup, and how many people can say that they've done that? A 10, an 11-inch mounted tom, and a 16-inch floor tom. So, you know, that having lots of different options is fun, and it keeps me entertained and interested. So, if you've ever wondered, if you've ever been that sad to wonder, that's the reason why. See you next time.